I feel like I would be a really good ref, though, from the side.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't miss a call.
Backseat reffing.
When the WNBA's biggest moneymaker goes down, you'd think the league would panic. But nope, they just pretend nothing's wrong. Caitlin Clark, the player keeping the WNBA on the map, finally sat down with Sue Bird and told it straight. No fake smiles, no sugarcoating. She said she was thrown into Game 30 without enough prep, and it messed her up. It gave her a whole new respect for the hurt teammates who've been suffering in silence. She didn't hide the truth. Sitting on the bench while ratings dropped was brutal. And the league, they just kept acting like everything was fine. Her injury wasn't some slow buildup. It hit hard and fast, starting in preseason with a left quad injury that wrecked her year before it even started. No rest, no protection, just get back out there like she was a machine they could fix with tape. Here's the cold fact. The WNBA leans way too much on Clark. She's their star, their ticket sales, their TV numbers. And when she's not playing, things get ugly. So what now? Are they going to actually protect their players, or are they going to keep using them until they break?
Challenging part of like all this. So obviously I have the first injury and I sit out 4 games and then I come back and I play really well.
Yeah.
And I feel really good. And like even just begin the year, like I played great. Like I started the year really good. Like I felt really great. Like my numbers were great. I was shooting the ball well. And then I get hurt and it's like, okay, like you got to get healthy, whatever. You're like, I'm going to do whatever I can, you know, to get back to what I was doing and whatever.
From May 28th to June 10th, Caitlin Clark was out with a quad strain. 5 games gone. She barely got back before another hit, a left groin injury that took her out for 4 more games, and the Commissioner's Cup final from June 26th to July 5th. And then July 15th came, a right groin injury that was the breaking point. That was it. She was done playing nice about it. This wasn't just about hurting. It was about being trapped in a season that felt like a bad stop-and-go traffic jam. Just when you get moving, you're slammed to a stop again. For someone who never missed games in college, the constant injuries were a punch in the face. Pro basketball wasn't just faster, it was tearing her apart. Talking to Sue Bird, Clark didn't hold back. It's not like I have a training camp. You're tossed into game 30. No warm-up, just trust your body and pray it holds. Every comeback was the same mental torture. Will my body hold, or will it betray me again? Then came the text from her mom that cut deeper than any injury. You've spent so much time taking care of everybody else. It's time to take care of yourself. It wasn't advice. It was a warning.
Ticket sales are like up across the WNBA, and then and they're also, when you don't play, there's a dip, like a substantial dip. So how do you handle, does it impact your patience? You know what I mean? Like you're coming back from this injury and you know this, everybody knows this, that when you play that changes.
Yeah.
I guess the better question is, how are you like managing it so it doesn't impact your patience?
Those words hit Clark harder than any defender. For the first time, getting back on the court wasn't just about basketball. It was about putting her own health ahead of everyone else's demands. That was the moment she stopped seeing herself as just a player and started seeing the bigger picture. And the numbers proved what the league didn't want to admit. The Fever were simply better when Clark played. 8 wins and 5 losses with her, compared to a dead flat 9-9 without her. When she was gone, it wasn't just the team's energy that dropped. The scoreboard changed. The crowds got smaller. The TV numbers slid. Her absence didn't just hurt, it left a mark the league couldn't hide.
Early on with the first couple injuries, I was like, oh, like I need to get back. But I think like my mom texted me like after this last injury, and like they know how hard it's been on me, but my mom was like, you know, you've taken so much time for everybody else, like you have to take time for yourself now. So just trying to do that the best I can.
On May 17th, the Sky vs. Fever showdown pulled a massive 2.5 million viewers, one of the biggest games of the season. But without Clark and other top stars, some games barely scraped 1.5 million on ABC. While the ratings dropped, the Fever were fighting for a playoff spot without their main scorer and playmaker. Some nights they only had 9 players ready because injuries tore through the roster, and strict league rules on hardship signings left them stuck. For Clark, it was a wake-up call like no other. She walked away with a deeper respect for teammates who had fought through pain before her, and a clear view of just how much the league leaned on her. Without her lightning scoring and pinpoint passing, the Fever's offense slowed to a crawl and became way too predictable.
That's been like the hardest part, has just been like the stop and go of everything. Like,
Yeah.
and also like with the type of injuries that I've dealt with, like there's no real, it's not like 6 weeks. All right, you're coming back for
Right.
the Connecticut Sun game on August
all about how you feel in the
30th or
moment.
whatever. It's like, how do you feel? Like, and even like when I have been back, like I don't know how I'm gonna feel the next day after playing, like when you're dealing with like these type of injuries. So I think just like the patience of dealing with all of that and giving myself a lot of grace and just trying to be the
Teammates had to step into roles they weren't ready for. And every time Clark set out, the team's 5th place standing felt like it was dangling by a thread. Up until now, she had kept her mouth shut in public. She played the company line, said the right things. But when she sat down with Sue Bird, that streak ended. And the league office was not ready for what was about to hit them. Sue asked about her sideline coaching during the games she missed. Clark gave a small smirk, like she knew she was about to cause trouble, and then dropped the line, "I was more so coaching the refs." She let it sit there, no rush, before she fired off the knockout, "I'd make a good ref. I wouldn't miss a call." That wasn't just a throwaway joke from a frustrated rookie. That was a shot straight across the bow at the people running the league. And she knew exactly what she was doing. The comment came right in the middle of one of the most tense seasons the WNBA has had in years, a season where officiating had become the league's biggest dirty secret. Coaches had already spoken up. Players had already spoken up. Some even got fined for saying the quiet part out loud. And then here comes Clark, the league's biggest star and ticket seller, firing her shot with perfect timing. She didn't rant, she didn't scream, she delivered it with humor, confidence, and a tone that made it clear she wasn't talking about missed calls just for her own benefit. She was pointing a finger at an entire broken system.
cool to like see people continue to show up, and like for my teammates, whether they're like fans of the Fever or just fans of myself, like they're continuing to show up and support. And like that's why I've been trying to take as much time as I can. Like I sign autographs for way longer when I'm hurt than when I'm active. So that's never something I like wish for, but like you know, I still want to make as much time as I can for people and, you know, give them something that they can
Clark's basketball IQ made her words hit harder. She wasn't guessing. She'd studied the film. She knew exactly what a foul looked like, understood spacing and contact better than most players in the league. This wasn't some heat-of-the-moment blow-up. It was a calculated truth bomb. From the sidelines, she'd watched her teammates get crushed with no whistles. She saw the patterns in how certain games were officiated, and she didn't like what she saw. And after taking her own share of hard fouls and what she straight up called cheap shots in her rookie season, she decided it was time to speak up. That quick jab at the refs wasn't just a little dig. It was part of something bigger, a wave of frustration that's been building for years. Players have been whispering about the inconsistency forever, but Clark didn't whisper. She grabbed a megaphone and blasted it for everyone to hear. And the league office? They were watching their brightest star go public, questioning the very integrity of the game. They couldn't just brush it off. Her comments didn't just trend, they exploded. Social media lit up.
hard.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm going to go to every road game no matter what, like whether I'm playing or not. Like, and it's hard because obviously I do feel this like responsibility of like being out there and playing, and like, not that I like think there's like a fear of any of this ever going away. Like that doesn't happen when like LeBron or Steph get hurt. Like they're always going to be there.
No,
like, you
you'll be
know,
back.
yeah, exactly. So, but like you do want to play, like you want to give people something to cheer about or scream about, or, you know, people spend so much time and money and resources to come.
Clips from her Sue Bird interview were everywhere within minutes. Timelines blew up, fans arguing over whether she'd gone too far or just said what everyone else was too scared to admit. Inside the league, it was pure chaos. Executives were lighting up group chats, scrambling to decide if this was a PR disaster to bury or a wave of publicity to ride. Some worried she had just opened the door for other stars to start calling out officiating in public. Others, behind closed doors, admitted she wasn't wrong. The media jumped on it instantly. Headlines painted her as a fearless truth teller and a rebel ready to challenge authority. Sports talk shows replayed her "I wouldn't miss a call" line like it was a game winner, breaking it down frame by frame. Meanwhile, players across the league were sliding into her DMs, thanking her for saying what they couldn't. One veteran even told her, "You just said out loud what we've been screaming in locker rooms for years." And the fans? They were loving every second. Every replay of her smirk, every bit of her body language, every pause before the punchline, it all turned into meme-worthy gold. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't just a viral soundbite. This was a warning shot. By questioning the league's officiating, Clark forced everyone, refs, coaches, executives, to pick a side. Either defend the broken system or admit change was needed. And once that conversation starts, you can't put it back in the box.
I think that's also been really good for me too, is like when I do go out before games and like sign autographs and like see all the young kids or fans or whoever's come to the games, like it just like gives me a really good perspective on everything and maybe gives me a little bit of motivation and just being thankful for everything that I have. Like, and very thankful for like my fans and just the fans of the WNBA of like how they can constantly continue to support and truly just want the best for me too at the end of the day. Like, you know, I think that
The WNBA's official response? Silence. And that silence was deafening. No public statement, no league memo, no hint that their biggest star had just called out the officiating on national platforms. But behind closed doors, the pressure was building. Insiders say the temperature in league offices was spiking. Some executives wanted to quietly pull Clark aside and tell her to keep those kinds of opinions behind closed doors. Others warned that trying to shut her up would blow up in their faces. Clark wasn't the type to take a corporate warning and then smile for the cameras. The referees union didn't take it lightly either. Whispers started floating that some officials felt personally disrespected. But at the same time, people inside the league were admitting the obvious. Her critique wasn't baseless. The data was already showing foul call inconsistencies across teams and markets, and the internet wasn't letting it go. Social media kept the story alive for days, clips still circulating, fans still debating, and the league's silence making it all feel even louder.
how much I was getting pressured. Like it was just like constant full court. And also I think as the season went on, like that chilled out as much. Like it's hard to like want to do that an entire season. Like teams like you don't want to pick up 94 feet the entire season. Like that's just hard.
Hashtags like Clark was right and fix the whistle started trending. Every questionable call in other games suddenly had fans tagging her name, asking what she thought. Like it or not, she had become the unofficial face of the league's officiating debate. And the Fever, they were stuck in the crossfire. Coaches had to answer questions about her comments instead of game plans. Teammates backed her in interviews, calling her fearless and protective of her squad. By the end of the week, it was obvious this wasn't about one interview anymore. Clark had lit the spark for something bigger. The talk about officiating had left the locker rooms, hit national headlines, and now it was everywhere. And the league was staring down a choice they couldn't dodge. Fix the problem or get ready for more public shots from the one star they absolutely could not afford to lose.
It's been so challenging, like being active and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process and just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating.
When Clark finally stepped back on the court, every eye in the arena was locked on her, not just to see if she was healthy, but to see if the refs would treat her any differently after those bombshell comments. The place buzzed with anticipation. Every whistle, or lack of one, sent ripples through the crowd. From the opening tip, the tension was thick. The first time she drove hard into the lane, took contact, and didn't get the call, the crowd erupted in boos. Cameras immediately cut to her face. And there it was, that smirk, the same one from the Sue Bird interview, only now it was aimed straight at the officials. Her teammates fed on it. Every bucket she dropped, every assist she dished out, felt like a statement. The Fever bench was lit, sensing this game had turned into something bigger than basketball. It wasn't just a regular season matchup anymore. It was a public showdown between the league's biggest star and the very people she had called out. Midway through the second quarter, she drew a clear foul on a three-point attempt. The whistle finally blew, and the arena exploded.
And like it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game 30, like go try to play well. Like it's hard, like it really is. And I think it has given me really good perspective on like what a lot of my teammates and people that I've, teams I've been a part of, like certain people have had to go through. Like I've never been through anything.
Clark glanced toward the baseline ref, gave a slow nod, and mouthed something that had social media detectives lip-reading within minutes. By the end of the night, she was just shy of a triple-double and had led the Fever to a win. But the box score was only part of the story. This game was about power. Who had it, who used it, and how one player had turned officiating into the biggest topic in the league. The next morning, the sports world was locked on one headline: Clark versus the whistle. Every highlight show opened with that smirk she flashed after the first no call. Every debate table was asking the same thing. Had she just changed the way refs call games in the WNBA? Clips of her nodding at the baseline ref went viral overnight, pulling millions of views with captions like "power move" and "she runs this now." Fans dissected every angle, slowed it down frame by frame, convinced she was sending coded messages with every glance. ESPN analysts debated whether the officials were showing her more respect or proving they couldn't be pushed around. Some said the game proved she'd won. Others claimed it was the league making sure she knew who was in charge. Either way, the conversation wasn't fading. It was spreading. Former players jumped in too. Some backed her completely, saying stars should demand higher standards. Others warned that going toe-to-toe with refs was risky and could backfire when the playoffs rolled around. Clark, meanwhile, stayed cool in the spotlight. In her post-game presser, she brushed it all aside with a half smile and said, "I just play the game. Everyone else can talk about the rest."
Why it's been so hard, because like I've never really dealt with injury, and that's probably been a challenge in itself, because like when I first like was feeling pain, like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't know. I was like, am I just tight? Like, am I just getting old? Do I need to hit a stretch? Do I need to get like a little rubbed out? Do I need some icy hot? Like what's going on here? So I think it's been a balance of like understanding my body. And I know like, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, and even throughout my career, I'm going to be very thankful.
That single line became the quote of the day: cool, controlled, and dripping with quiet authority. By the afternoon, the story had moved way past sports. Mainstream news outlets were running it as a clash between player influence and institutional power. One thing was crystal clear: Clark wasn't just playing basketball anymore. She was rewriting the balance of power in the league, and everyone knew it. The NWNBA was stuck. They couldn't afford to alienate their biggest star, but they also couldn't ignore the fact she had just put their officiating under a microscope for the whole world to see. And the truth? That was only the surface. Beneath the headlines and highlight reels was a much darker reality, the story of how the league's brightest star was really being treated on the court and why her breaking point had been coming for a long time.
That's a PNW win! W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Oh my gosh. That one just aged me, but we're getting better. Shoot, good win. Win's for win. A dub is a dub, so keep on.
Clark's rookie year and now her sophomore season have ripped the cover off something ugly. The hits she's been taking aren't just some welcome to the league initiation. This is survival mode in a system where it feels like she's being hunted every single night. Game after game, she's absorbing contact and collisions that go way past normal defensive pressure. We're talking about calculated punishment. And you can see the cost written in her injury history. One setback after another, each one stealing a piece of her momentum. She's not shy about laying it out either. The constant full-court pressure, the double teams and traps waiting before she even crosses half court, passing lanes choked off, driving lanes slammed shut before she can even think about creating. This isn't just tough defense. This is systematic targeting. It's designed to wear her down, to make every possession a war, to chip away at her confidence and her body at the same time. And if you watch closely, it's not hard to spot the difference. Other rookies, they don't see this kind of heat, at least not night after night. Compare the way her opponents guard them versus the way they guard her, and the pattern jumps off the screen. And here's the part no one in the league office wants to say out loud. This isn't random. This is deliberate. Whether it's about testing her toughness, slowing her rise, or sending a message that no one player is bigger than the game, the result is the same. She's become a target. And in a league trying to grow its audience, running your biggest draw into the ground isn't just bad optics, it's self-sabotage.
Growth that we've had as a team, because early in the season we were just so inconsistent, and if teams were to do that, we would normally lose those games, but it just shows that we're getting closer, we're trusting each other, and I think that's the biggest part, is trusting and knowing that we can win those games even if they go.
Clark's deadly mix of deep shooting range and laser-accurate passing made her the ultimate problem. And instead of simply trying to outplay her, teams went for the body, breaking her down possession by possession. It wasn't about stopping her shot. It was about making her feel every cut, every drive, every landing. She's admitted it herself. The pounding she's taken this season is on a level she's never experienced before. "I've never been through anything like this," she said. And for the first time, the question started circulating. Was this just basketball, or was it a coordinated effort to push the league's biggest star to her breaking point? Because the difference between the way she was protected in college and the way she's being treated in the WNBA couldn't be clearer. In college, she had room to move, space to create, and referees who didn't let every shove slide. Here, it's trench warfare. And the proof is in her medical history this year. Quad strain, groin injury, back to quad, right groin, soft tissue damage piling up one after another. Her season has turned into a stop-and-go grind, and every restart comes with the same fear. When will the next one hit? Now the question is staring everyone in the face, even if the league pretends it's not there. Are their stars actually being protected, or are they being left to take the beating until their bodies give out?
A lot of ups and downs in the WNBA this season. To take care of business in a winning streak like this, what does that sort of say about how this team's coming together?
Yeah, Seattle's a great team, great team, and it's hard to play here. And so we knew that. We knew that they just came off kind of a bad loss against LA. And so they were hungry for a win. But for us, it's not about other teams. It's about our standard. It's about stacking the days. And I think that where our mental's at as a team and as individuals, we're in a really good spot. And, it's not going to be easy moving forward. But I think today we stayed true to the scout. We trusted the offense. Kelsey has been having a hell of a season. She was a little bit off, but she facilitated for us offensively down the stretch. And it just shows that everyone has something to give, even if your scoring's not going to be there. But I don't know, I'm just proud of our team, and I'm proud that
Clark and her teammates haven't exactly been quiet. They've been questioning calls and non-calls right there from the sideline. Not just in post-game pressers, but in real time, in full view of the cameras. Clark's been vocal about what she sees as inconsistent officiating. And when she says it, the league can't just wave it away like background noise. The beating she's taken in her first 2 years is unlike anything she ever faced in college. And her story forces some uncomfortable questions about how the WNBA balances letting them play with actually protecting the talent that sells the tickets, drives the ratings, and keeps the lights on. Because here's the ugly truth. If your golden goose keeps getting hacked, shoved, and targeted without whistles, what does that say about your priorities? Clark speaking out wasn't just a personal move, it was a line in the sand. She's not only defending her own career, she's setting a standard for player advocacy that the league can't bury under PR spin and corporate talking points. Meanwhile, while she's been out, the Fever have been grinding to stay in the playoff hunt. Aaliyah Boston has been a force in the paint. Kelsey Mitchell's been clutch when it counts. Lexi Hull has stepped in to fill gaps, and Sophie Cunningham has brought her trademark grit every night. That resilience means when Clark finally returns, it's not just a boost, it's a warning shot for every opponent left on their schedule. So here's the real question. Will the WNBA step up, fix the officiating, and protect its stars? Or will they keep rolling the dice until another headline reads that their brightest light has burned out?